Welcome to another Reggae University session. Today's topic is TINGS and Time, Reggae Today. So we are going to look at the current reggae music with some great young artists that should be on their way. Until they come, let me briefly introduce my Reggae University colleagues. On the far left from your perspective, we have David Katz, who is based in London. He's a writer and author and just released an updated version of his book, Solid Foundation, an Oral History of Reggae. Next to him is Pierre Tosi, radio host and writer from Bologna. And next to me is Ellen Köhlings, and I'm Pete Lilly. We are both publishers and editors of Rhythm magazine, which is based in Cologne, Germany. Okay, I see them. Yeah, I just go ahead and start to introduce our special guests. Come on, take a seat, take a seat. Okay, so I guess most of you know our special guests. I start with Kalia, who is sitting right here next to Ellen. It was the call of music which led Kalia back to her Jamaican roots. The singer was born in Westmoreland, Jamaica, but migrated with her mother to London at the age of 6, but was a regular visitor to the island. It might sound unreal, but it was Shaggy who gave her career the necessary boost by introducing her to the respected producer Tony C.D. Kelly. A perfect match. As she says herself, she rolls with the punches and stays true to the creative process. Hence the title of her EP, Stay True, which includes a collaboration with Shaggy. Welcome, Kalia.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Next to Kalia, we have Jesse Royal. Even though he started out nearly 15 years ago under the mentorship of the late, great Fatis Borel of Exterminator Records, who also shaped the careers of artists like Sizzla and Luciano, Jesse's modern interpretation of reggae and his unique style of riding rhythms with swag, he revitalizes the music of today. It was the Winter James-produced modern-day Judas which catapulted him into the collective reggae consciousness in 2012. He has 2 albums, lots of combinations and singles under his belt. Welcome the Small X, Palace Picnic, Nati Pablo. Welcome Jesse Royal.
Yeah, Lisan. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all you beautiful people understanding the importance of conversations in reggae music, and yeah, we're gonna have a reasoning.
Yeah, before we start, let me introduce the other 2. Next to Jessie is Naomi Cohen, who launched her career in 2014 with the cover of Things You Say You Love by the rocksteady group The Jamaicans. Her father, Tommy Cohen, producer, songwriter, and former road manager of Bob Marley, used to be a member of that group. Her mom is the reggae singer Carleen Davis. But Naomi is a singer and songwriter of her own right, who also plays piano and acoustic guitar. The reggae world started paying attention when she released the single Paradise Plum, as well as the Star Girl mixtape with Watchy Fire. On top, she played Marcia Griffiths in the Bob Marley biopic One Love. Welcome the Star Girl, Naomi Cohen.
Hello. Thank you. Happy to be here, everybody.
And last but not least, there's Jalil. There are voices you listen to once and you know they will accompany probably for the rest of your life. Jalil has such a unique voice. In 2011, he won a prestigious Jamaican gospel competition with the respected gospel and former dancer producer Denny Brownie in the jury. An illness prevented Jalil from reaching the next step, though. But in 2014, when he released the album Can a Man Cry, a modern reggae classic with productions by The Zaya, Teflon Zing Fans, and the Spanish Sinky Beats, his career is on how should I say, on a good track. Welcome, Jalil.
Blessings, blessings. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Before I put my first question to Jesse Royal, I would like to play one of his songs, which is called Nati Pablo.
Truth is a truth, you know. And one day we'll all reveal. Legal. Can't hide it from the youths, them. See? Watch it, Streets watching people keep eavesdropping. Seeds happen but not telling the beast nothing. Squeeze doesn't the whole universe something. Some say them a goat, them mustn't mean nothing. Hey. Heads popping and the feet tapping. Small axe, tree chopping. What I got happen when the beat dropping? Them your style, yeah, them no need no pen. Ain't nothing like the narcos. Tell me where we can go with this contraband in our cargo. Call it Nati Pablo.
Jesse, reggae has always covered all kinds of topics, but it is mostly known.
Watch you know, I know you long enough for you not to read questions to me. Just talk to me. Talk to me. So what you say?
As I just said, reggae has always covered a lot of topics, but it is mostly known for its social commentary, at least in these parts of the world. As we have just heard, you have mastered this aspect of the music like not many others. Why do you think that reggae is particularly suitable for this type of topic, for social commentary?
Why is reggae suitable for social commentary? All right, so the birth of reggae music is commentary, right? The original root of reggae music, in terms of my understanding, it was the vessel of expression for a downtrodden people who didn't have a voice, right? So for me, the root of reggae music is the truth of the people in the day and the age, right? Which is why my music sonically may sound a little bit different than Bob Marley, but the message remains the same because the message doesn't change, right? And reggae music bases love, unity, peace, overstanding. That doesn't change. How we express it may change, but that in itself does not change. So for me, we're just being, being true to what the art is. As Jamaicans, and not only as Jamaicans, but as young youths who going through our struggles in life and our different situations, that is going to help to mold us into the human beings that we need to be to help the world move forward. Reggae music is the only genre, like we always say, that is dedicated to love, unity, peace, and understanding. It is not rock and roll. Rock and roll message is wild. R&B message is about making love. Hip-hop is about the youths, them and them culture and them struggles. Reggae music is literally about love, unity, peace, understanding. So for me, reggae music is a conversation that must exist until the end of time, because it's a conversation that existed from the beginning of time. Reggae music is just reminding people of what it used to be, right? Yeah, reggae can't die, man. Reggae can't die. As long as there's life, there will be reggae.
Okay, so you kind of answered the next question also, because the average youth in Jamaica, when you ask them, they would probably say their genre of choice is dancehall or trap hall these days, or whatever they want to call it. So a question to all panelists. Why did you choose to walk the reggae path and not go maybe the most obvious path?
Yeah, I'll answer that because that was a big struggle of mine. I'll be honest, as an artist. I will never forget when I decided to do music. I had a conversation with a brother friend of mine, Nicholas Brownie, son of Danny Brownie, who is Romain Virgo's manager, Nico. And I grew up with him. And I remember when I started to teach myself how to play the guitar, and I told him, boy, you know, I'm gonna go into music. And he said, so what you gonna do? You gonna do reggae? And at the time, I said, no, I'm not going to do reggae. I want to do pop. I want to do acoustic, because I love acoustic music. I love music that's very stripped down, and I can get into my feelings that way. And at that time, I said, you know, I don't think reggae is gonna be my path. And I'll tell you guys, you know, without giving you the details of the story, but the Almighty took me through a spiritual experience where it was undeniable that I had to do reggae music. You know, I had many different experiences in my life that showed me that one, reggae unites people of all class, race, culture, language. And I got these visions of people all around the world holding hands and singing the music. And I recognized that in every genre, people respond to it differently. But if you notice with reggae music, everybody's body falls into a trance when they hear it, no matter where you come from, if you've even never heard reggae before. So I saw this vision of people just surrendering to the music, and I recognized that my calling in this world is to bring light and love to what I do, and reggae was the best channel and the best vehicle for that. Secondly, I knew that my parents' work wasn't for nothing, and it was for me to carry on when I looked at my path as well. So, you know, as much as dancehall, as you might say, is the popular thing, the truth is we will live in a cyclical world, and things will always come back around. And if you are in the right time and you're following your divine path, the message will come through you, through what you're choosing to do. So,
and to add to that, dancehall is not reggae's competition.
Right.
Right? These are where dancehall and reggae does not compete. It is two different languages that speak to two different type of people, right? And two different type of people express themselves through it as well as identify through it. The message can go upon any beat, right? The message can go upon any beat. And we have learned that there is forces out there that want to break us apart and separate us, right? Everybody most of the youth them in a dance hall had similar upbringings to me. All of them raised by their mother, them used to go to church, them know what it means to be hungry, them know certain little experiences from them young simply because of where we live and where we exist. But we reach a place now where we say we leave all judgment to Jah, right? I have a song called Rich Forever, right? And I featured Vibes Cartel on the song Rich Forever. And the reason why me put Cartel on that song is because Cartel was the only one that could speak the language to the youths who are media that try to get to that don't necessarily understand Jesse Royal language, right? And we have to seek out more and more opportunities to collaborate so that the message is the focus. It's not about the messenger, it's about the message, right? And we have to understand how important all of us sticking together in the name of reggae and dancehall and love and unity, because every other genre them stick together. I don't hear old school rap competing with new school rap. I don't hear R&B from 1973 argue with R&B from 2003. Nobody else is looking for reasons to be enemies. Let's look for reasons to be partners. Let's look for new ways and new opportunities to help develop the youth in a way so that they can do whatever they need to do to bring it back to place. But if we aren't the ones who are going to start the car, let's at least put the wheels on the car, right? Even if we not gonna drive the car, make we at least put the wheels on the car and start prepare the space for some real meaningful movement.
Thank you. Without wanting to create any separation, I still would like to hear from Kalia and from Jalil why they chose a particular way to bring across their message.
Yeah, for me, I did start singing dancehall. You know, Tony Kelly is a dancehall producer. He's big up Tony anyway. There. He is one of the pioneers of dancehall music. And so the music that we started working on at first was strictly dancehall. But as you say, dancehall and reggae don't compete. So even when you're in the space of dancehall or in the space of reggae, you still do dip your toes, and you know, you would do a dancehall tune. So even though I was doing dancehall, I dip my toe in a reggae, and I found that the response from people was so different. When I sang those songs on stage, I felt very different. I felt more in tune with myself because the message and the words, the way that I wrote the lyrics, the way that the music was speaking to me, it just felt different to when I was singing dancehall. But I love dancehall same way, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's why I'm here today.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Jalil, and the reason why I chose, let's say, more reggae than dancehall was that, like, from a young, tender age, I saw myself as like a philanthropist. Even though I never had enough to give, you know, I'm a people person. I like to give, you know, and for me, it was the music that I could express myself in. You know, I was always somebody that, you know, was kind of popular in school or whatever, but, you know, I wanted to choose a career path where I could help people in schools, you know what I mean? And I sought people who did it, and one of the person that has done it, like, very well was Bob Marley, you know what I mean? And also Michael Jackson, you get me? Even though it's a separate, you know, genre, but, you know what I mean? Same effective way of, you know, reaching the message to people, you know what I mean? So I wanted to express myself and avail myself, you know what I mean, to basically give and share, you know what I mean? And reggae music was that for me. As he said earlier, it's not a competition because it's like dancehall is a culture within the culture. Dancehall is actually a space, you know, and reggae music, I mean, there's no reggae without dancehall, no dancehall without reggae, you know what I mean? It's right. Jamaican music, you know what I mean? So, but for me, I express myself, you know, reggae is more suitable for me, you know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Yo, well said, well said. It's like, when Jalil said that just a while ago, it's like it clicking on my head. It's like reggae is like the older, wiser brother, and dancehall is like the young, reckless brother.
Family.
But we're still in the same family. We still have the same mother and the same father. We were born out of the same struggles. Me have a whole heap of friends that do dancehall music. Me have a whole heap of friends that do reggae music. And you guys have been to Jamaica a lot of time. You know, said Jesse Royal. As much as Jesse Royal, then a dub club him dead on a solo field, right? You know, say as much as Jesse Royal, they on a stage, be a superstar artist, me still in the actual streets with the people, doing my charity work, doing givebacks, because the music and thing important, you know. But you can't make the music too important that you forget that there's action behind it, right? So if we don't understand the importance of like empowering everybody, it's like Bob Marley used to sing ska before him did get reggae. Yeah, Bob Marley used to sing "See My Down" because he never reached reggae yet. Buju Banton say you walk like a champ, him never reached reggae yet. Buju Banton is king in a dance, all of them. You know, everybody, if you ask Damian Marley when he was young, him listen to your dancehall. Me grew up in an era where me listen to whole heap of dancehall, and me listen to hip-hop, Biggie Smalls, them, and Tupac, them, all of them youth. There's youth so we consciously know. And that is going to become a part of how we express our art. But at the root of it, our heart is Jamaican and even on a bigger level, African people expressing the real struggles in this time, which is why somebody can make music in Jamaica and somebody in Sierra Leone can feel like Jesse Royal wrote that song for me. Right?
Well,
There's somebody in Germany who, Kalia, can sing a song that they feel like, oh, she sang this song for me. And we not talk, Kaliana, you understand? And when Naomi them sing, even if you don't know who she is, when she goes on a stage and you hear her sing, you're like, oh my God, because she had to talk to a different place in the yard. When you listen to how Jalil write, his music are going to make your brain go in different places because of this inspiration that we're down upon him. But guess what? We are all Jamaican.
Yeah,
we are all people who are yam, dumpling, banana, drop down, jump in a river, go beach. So you can't limit the expression of Jamaican to music. And that's what a lot of people forget. There's a lot of people around the world that make reggae, but are you reggae? You can't make it, you know. But are you reggae? Because the music can change, but it's the expression, it's the life we live. Is what makes us who we are. You understand? And the music is just an expression of that. But the music is not who we is. The music is an expression of who we are. But who we are is much deeper than the music. You understand? So you have to try to understand that too. And not just understand, oh, this beat sound that way, and that man, and this beat, you know, is way deeper than that, man. Deeper
but Jesse, as you said, are you reggae? After everybody answered their question, I had this statement in my mind to answer your question on behalf of the table. I didn't choose reggae. Reggae chose me.
True.
I'm going to say it again. We did not choose reggae. Reggae chose we. Because we're all multi-talented, multifaceted artists sitting here. Every artist can potentially do anything. Kalia can do a country album next if she wants. Jesse can do a hip-hop trap when I'm ready. We can do all things. But reggae really chose us on our divine path because it is such a spiritual music. So are you reggae? Reggae is me. You see me?
Okay, let's listen to another song, which happens to be a reggae song. It's on the Queen of the Minstrel Rhythm, and it's by Naomi Cohen. It's called Paradise Plum.
You never put up a fight, no. Paradise Plum. Just know me like we knew we never had to say your word, not your song. Silence, you never put up a fight, no. Paradise Plum. Just know me like we knew we never had to say your word, not your song. Silence, spending time on the regular. We'll pass the days when you just call me on my cellular. If I'm the book, then you're the editor. Cause you know we always bringing out the best in us. It's not a rushing man, even though you cuss me cause
Okay, Naomi. With your parents having played crucial parts in the history of reggae, and you having played Marcia Griffiths in the Bob Marley movie, where do you see yourself in the musical tradition of Jamaica? As a keeper of tradition, a reformer, innovator? Maybe you can describe what is your aim within the music.
So where do I see myself in relation to the tradition of reggae music?
Yeah, basically.
I definitely see myself as an innovator. I always have. As a matter of fact, I feel as though when I stepped into the space, I created a lane for women to be feminine in reggae music. You know, sometimes the world can be so harsh that a woman feels as though she needs to match a man's energy to be able to defend herself. But the truth is that our strength is in our softness and our strength is in our vulnerability. So I'll never forget when I started to perform, you know, I was wearing heels and shorts and skirts on the stage, you know, not necessarily in a way that is, I don't even think, first of all, dancehall outfits are not inappropriate because I love, you guys don't want to see me in the streets. But what I mean is that I feel as though when I stepped into the space, I made sure to not try to be a man, I'll be honest. I wanted to be a girl's girl in reggae music. And the reason why I say that is because when you uplift women, you uplift a nation, you uplift culture. But women need to feel free to still be women if that's where they're choosing to be. And so in terms of innovating, I wanted to be able to stay true to the roots of reggae music. So you have the bass line, the drums, everything. But I wanted my messaging to feel relevant to the modern girl, the everyday girl, right? I didn't want to force an old school message to a new audience. So my goal has always been, how do I write from my perspective while keeping the essence of what we were born into? You know, once again, because as you said, the youth can sometimes perceive reggae to be a old-time business. So for me, I feel as though my role is to continue, like what you saw, Marcia Griffiths, J.C. Lodge, Nadine Sutherland, Elaine, Tammy Chin, you know, all of these women coming up that we admired. I have so many people come up to me and say, your mom was my high school crush, you know, because once again, she was this gorgeous, just goddess. She still is, but just this, you know, this woman. And so I felt as though in the time that I stepped in, what I saw was, where we need to keep the beauty of reggae music. And so yeah, I hope that answers the question. I'm here for the girls. I'm here for the ladies. Yeah.
I have to say my personal love for reggae music was refreshed, or should I say revived, when the so-called reggae revival came about some 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years ago. The quality of the music was amazing, the unity among the artists I hadn't witnessed before, the way females presented themselves was quite new to me, and also the incorporation of other fields of art was new to me. How did you all experience this time, this movement? Maybe let's start with Jesse, because you were a crucial part of the movement from the beginning, even though I think you never liked the term reggae revival.
Yeah, I mean, listen, wherever you need to label something that means something to you, you go ahead, right? That is life, right? People are going to label things so them think them can understand it a little bit more. For me, existing in at that time and this time and the times before is a beautiful thing, because like we're saying, there's always a lot of creative people in Jamaica. What we just need is enough people to believe in it, right? We just need enough people to believe in it, which is why I always remind people that the audience is as important as the artist, right? You have a responsibility. It's your responsibility to go download that Jalil song. It's your duty to go make sure that the world, that Kalia's new song is playing on your radio. It's important for you to go watch One Love movie and big up Naomi. It's important for you to make sure that Jesse Royal album is #1 on the charts. Why? Because we represent love. And every other genre does that. I can tell you. If you go in hip-hop, hip-hop is going to make sure so them hip-hop youth is #1. We don't care about reggae. We don't care about R&B. We don't care about rock and roll. When it's time for us to support hip-hop, when it's time for us to support Afrobeat, when it's time for us to support rock and roll, they do. So me, I cry to our reggae audience is like, we are way more important than you think. We have to make our voices heard. We have to make our presence felt. It is important for us to show up, right? And you have to understand, so you may not understand everything that's going on now. There's people who never understand Bob Marley. There's people who never Bumbleclaw understand Peter Tosh. When them didn't make music in their time, it was new. It was innovative. It was fresh. People never understand Bob Marley in 1971 because people they too busy and them already know scare. So them not say, why this thing you sound different and why am I leave that? But he was being new, and him did hear other sounds, and him did love other artists, and him like Curtis and the Mayfield them, and him incorporate that in a theme music and help to create something that was his own. You look on Toots and the Maytals and you see how they have inspired the world. Not just with a song or a sound, but the way him perform, the way him deliver. And one of the things that I realize is the difference right now is just the connection between artist and audience. Yeah? Back then it was a little bit more closed mind. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't that many platforms to digest music. There wasn't that many labels. There wasn't that many artists, right? But we still have to understand that this is not, reggae music is not something where everybody just sit down in the bomber-clad crowd and look upon the artist and say, yeah, all right, let's clap him now. No, reggae music is where everybody needs to be involved. When we go on the stage, we don't go on the stage for praise we go on the stage to inspire Uno so that when you go to work and when you're raising the children and when you're doing what you're doing, Uno do it under the inspiration of Jah and under the inspiration of love and the mystic that is reggae music. Reggae music is not a trophy, it's a movement, right? And we have to understand that the battle is not done and artists alone cannot do it. Managers alone cannot do it. Players of instruments alone cannot do it. We need a ready, steady, uplifted audience that is ready to push reggae music to the furthest corners of the world, because this is one of the most important conversations. And if your children, if you don't make sure that your children understand that love is important, you have nobody to blame. You don't have no government to blame. You don't have no bomber-clad president. You don't have no elected leader. It's your fault. If you don't make sure that your children understand the power of love, it is your fault. See? Rastafari.
Kalia, Naomi, Jalil, and you kind of entered the music a bit after the movement that became known as Reggae Revival. How did you perceive it, and did you feel influenced by it? And if yes, in which way?
I think I'm still being influenced by it now and forever will. At the time, I was living in London and I was being influenced by other types of music. Like I said, I saw myself as a dancehall artist. You know, I started off singing R&B. I was listening to grime and different genres because my family aren't musical. So in my home, we never played them. I wasn't hearing reggae. I wasn't hearing any type of music. And so I found music myself, and I'm still finding music. And so, you know, I'm learning about the reggae revival movement. And I think it's, for me, it's interesting because I feel that for a while, we didn't have something like that. And right now, I feel blessed to be, you know, in the new wave of reggae artists that's coming up. And I think we're stronger than ever right now. So, yeah, that's how I perceive it. I'm still learning because, you know, I was learning on my own. Yeah.
For me, the reggae revival movement, if you want to call it that, is based on your interpretation. But that time span of when music was coming out, for me, it was really important because I needed a guideline because I was lost, to be honest. I was in the garrison, born and raised in the ghetto, and so many negative influences were around me, and I needed something to strike that balance in my life. You know what I mean? So when I heard a Chronix, when I heard a Jesse Royal, when I heard a Protege, when I saw that the togetherness was very important for me personally, and that is one of the things that influenced me also, you know what I mean, to do music like how I do it. You know, I have the song called Step by Step, and it said it, you get me? It has the lyrics. It said, I find my strength when I'm singing reggae revival songs, because that was my interpretation of what was going on, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's very important, that time span, and I think a lot of persons or people who experienced that, it was life-changing for them also, you know what I mean? So, I would charge us today, you know, on the panel, everybody, you know, this is not a recreation, but in this time, create a movement so we can effectively, you know, get the job done, you know what I mean? Because we need to get it done, because trust me, there's an imbalance now in music which a lot of negative music is being pushed, and you can see it in your TV, you can see it on Instagram. That is the most clicked. But the consumer, which is me, also you, we need to change that narrative, because even if the algorithm feeds you this, you can refuse it. You know what I mean? So let us do this together, yes?
Yeah.
Well said.
Well said. I want to show you this. You can pass this down. Kelly, look at it too. So in terms of the reggae revival, I'll be super honest. When I started my career in reggae music, I came straight out of the church. I left Canada. I'd finished my master's degree. A lot of people don't know that I'm fully educated. And so I had finished my master's degree, period. And I came to, I mean, you don't have to clap. But I came to Jamaica, I came back home, and before that, I was just singing at church. I actually wasn't really listening to mainstream music I hadn't really listened to mainstream music properly for maybe about 7 years, because I was so spiritual and in line with my Christian faith that I didn't even want to really hear anything else. So when I felt the call to be part of reggae music, I came home, and I tell you, no lie, all I started to do was show up. I had no clue what was going on. I had one friend in the industry, his name is Jason Panton, big up yourself, and I met him on a flight when I was moving back home, and him said, "Oh, you're what you want to do?" And I said, "I'm doing reggae." He goes, "Okay." And he just started to send me events that were happening around Kingston. Anything that was going on, I just went. And anytime there was a microphone, I sang. I have no clue how I am here today, ladies and gentlemen, because when I stepped into the space, I didn't come up under anybody, no manager, nobody discovered me. I feel as though I discovered myself, right? So in December of 2017, there was a Dubwise at 10A West Kings House Road, and Chronix was actually the MC, which was so cool because, you know, you don't really hear from him too much. And so he was doing this show, and at the end, they had the freestyle. Once again, I'm coming from singing in the church. So I don't do no freestyle at all. And Jason and Kabaka pushed me. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what am I going to do now? And thankfully, because when I was a little girl, I used to watch Papa San performing with my mom. And I just did whatever I knew coming out of, I just sang this gospel DJ. So I was like, I am a child of God, beautiful, good looking, created by Jesus, my savior and my king. Him says so for the little G. Right? So I just DJ'd, I just pulled out of the archives whatever I had in my head from my musical upbringing. And so that's how I knew what the reggae revival was. And the newspaper put a picture of me beside Janine and Chronix. Reggae revival at Dubwise. And that was the first night I met Leela Ike. Never knew who she was before. And the rest is history. And I remember a year later doing the Bob Marley birthday show. And I invited Sev and Leela to come on stage with me. Because I just thought it would be cool. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys should come on my set. Let's just do our songs. And after that, I tell you no lie, all of a sudden, all of these articles, women in reggae, putting the three of us on a thing, and then we had a show up at Skyline with coffee, and then the rock and groove, and it was just, but I'm telling you, none of this was planned. And so I said, to answer your question, I think a revival is when we all were having an awakening, if that makes sense, at the same time, and then we aligned with each other. And that is what a revival is. It's never, let's start this. I mean, you have to start rebellions, that's for sure. But I think revivals really come from within the artist, because when you listen to everybody's timeline, I hear 2014, I hear same. So it's like we are on different paths, and then here we are together. So I think, you know, we've done our part, and just like what Jalil said and what Jesse said, the charge is back to our audience to now support what we've decided to do, because we're putting ourselves on the block here, you know? So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to play another song by Jalil. It's called Above Water.
as I tread these waters of life. Oh, I have to get it right. Oh, I can't get it wrong. If I do, I will lose my life. So much in the sea now that I just can't see. I'm not feeling weary. All I can depend is on me. I keep my head above the water.
Jalil, your approach to reggae music is a quite personal one. In many of your lyrics, you show your vulnerability, or you speak about your fears and your doubts. This is not really common in reggae music, or it hasn't been so far, at least. How did you come up with this approach, and what are the reactions that you get for this?
All right. So I came about this. You see how I came about it? And the directions for my approach? All right. To be honest, since a child, I've always been like an expresser. Like I express myself. You know what I mean? I cannot hold things in at all. Yeah, no. Yeah, I cannot hold things in, you get me? But I did it because I was forced to. And, you know, it basically hurt me, you know, as an individual. Even mentally, psychologically, it hurted me, you know? In 2018, 19, 20, around that time, I was very severely ill, you know? And I never know, you know, what was the cause of this thing, because I eat healthy, I'm very physical, play football, you know what I mean? For mental clarity and all of these things, I'm always listening to like reggae music, you know what I mean? So I try to, you know, live reggae, not just sing it, you know what I mean? I'll be a part of it. And I was so ill, and I never know that I would be here even talking to you guys today, you know, because I was in a situation where it was either life or death. Like, I was on the slim line right there. What I understood was a lot of males, like a lot of us today, we hide our feelings so much, and it does so much internal damage that it basically spread out in society. So right now, what society is a lot of males that keep things in, you know? So I made a sacrifice to be my truest version of myself, to represent every single male in this building today. So you can be the best version of yourselves, so we can have a better society. So that was my approach to everything. We don't know the hiding, like, you know? And yeah, we don't know the hiding. So like, it was always a situation where, you know what I mean, like, you're weak if you cry. Like, why? It's an emotion, you know what I mean? So I found emotional stability and balance within myself. So I made the sacrifice to pour out, you know what I mean? So that's exactly what I do. So I hope you guys, you know, eat from this and you bring it home and feed it to your children, to your sons. You know what I mean?
The collective thanks you.
So,
thank you.
Because I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for the applause either. Trust me, I'm doing this for you guys so we can have a better community. You know what I mean?
Okay, since time is running faster than I thought, I'm going to skip some of my questions and play a next song instead by Kalia. It's called Flowers.
Kind of dream that can't be sold. We were right till we weren't. Built a home and watched it burn. listen. Talk to myself for hours. Say things you don't understand.
Even though this panel is testimony to the opposite, it has often been said, and Jesse also mentioned it, that reggae is sometimes referred to as old people music and things like that. Kalia, covering a global pop hit by Miley Cyrus, is that maybe a formula to overcome this stereotype?
No, not that song, not particularly. Big up Silly Walks. So Silly Walks, they reached out to me saying they wanted to do a cover of the song.
Told you to play that, to sing that.
Yeah. And so they actually, everything that you hear is live musicians playing the beat. And I love the song. They said they wanted the vocals to fit and if I was interested. So I was like, yeah, for sure, I'm down. But people do perceive it as, you know, olden music. And I think what Naomi was saying before about the modern woman and being able to express ourselves like that is important because there's a certain visual that people think of when they think of reggae, when they think of, you know, they think of Bob Marley, they think of Marcia Griffiths, and they think of, you know, head wraps and the long dresses, and we love it. But I think it's important that we're able to express ourselves as us, as how we are today, because we grew up in, I'm not gonna say when we did born, but you know, I'm a 90s baby. And so, of course, you know, our life experiences have been different, the fashions have been different, and it's important that we're able to put those into the music and for, exactly, and to be real and for it not to feel forced. So yeah, I think that's the most important part. I wouldn't say that the music that I'm creating, I'm specifically thinking to, oh, I need to, you know, reach the youth, I need to make it modern. I feel I am the youth and I'm just expressing myself true. Yeah.
Thank you. I still have papers full of questions, but I want to give our other panelists the chance to put their questions to our special guests before we open it up to the audience.
Yeah, I just have a quick two-part question for each of our special guests. Can you tell the good people here at Rototom Sunsplash, what are you working on right now? What new releases do you have coming? Who have you done them with? And also, we know that there's so much talent in Jamaica. And can you alert us to other artists that we might not be aware of that you think are important right now?
Good question. I'm currently working on an album, so you guys can look out for that for next year. You guys may not know Samorai. Love Samori. You guys do know about Samorai. I'm gonna say that as my one. His vocals are amazing, sounds exactly the same live, and I think that's also very important. Yeah, that's mine.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I work on my third studio album. The second one, Royal, as you know, was nominated for a Grammy, right? So we kind of have very big shoes to fill. But yeah, we're working our way. It's been lovely. I do some work with Sean Alric again, who was big on the last project, and Dre TINGS. I released a song called Blessing with Johan Marley, which is doing really good. Johan is the younger brother of Joseph Marley and son of Stephen Marley. But he is an incredible voice, and he's definitely somebody who I think you all should be looking out for in the future, among others. You know what I mean? You have Diani them, you have Rasai them, you have Rick Jam them, you know what I mean? But also Johan is definitely some special when I think I will come touching with him voice, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah, Johan has got a beautiful voice, very raspy, very cool. So while I was filming the Bob Marley movie, I actually serendipitously ended up in a studio in West London with a producer named Toddler T. And long story short, we just had the best chemistry musically, and we ended up doing an album that year. So we worked on an album all of last year, including Runkus as well, who was co-producing with us, co-writing. We have some tracks on the project with Winter James and a few other producers. So I do have an album that's finished. It's just the Babylon side of it has been delaying it, as you all know. So we're looking at putting out my first single in the fall, between October and November. So please, please, just stay tuned with me. You know what I mean? And support that movement, because it's going to be a new era for Naomi Cohen. And without telling you I'm going to raise my voice if they're going to raise the music. Without telling you the title of the album yet, what I will say is if you love Paradise Plum, I put Paradise Plum into one experience, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take you to paradise with this album. And then in terms of artists that I'd love for you to pay attention to, what's that?
Yeah.
Who? Mortimer? Of course, Mortimer. But I'm gonna big up some ladies. There's Joby J, who's a beautiful singer from Jamaica. Zaina. There's Zaina, there's Courtney, there's Jamila Falak. Italy. So those are some ladies that, you know, as a lineage as well.
Right.
As a lineage, well, my girl, Tikas.
Bad girl, man.
From St. Thomas. Why her name just sleep? Yes, a rebel. Yeah. So those are some women that have been trotting and are putting in a lot of work. So please, please, please support them.
Thank you.
Jazz Elise, but y'all know, yes, of course. I'm a gal name, yeah.
Come in.
Blessings again. So for me, it's gonna be a yearly thing, you know, where I release an album. Yeah, because, you know, COVID basically took like 5 years, I'm gonna say. It's not even 3 years, but 5 years of all of us lives, you know what I mean? So for me, album yearly, you know, collaborations, you know what I mean? Because it's not about me, you know what I mean? It's a group effort, you know? So we are looking for work with Jesse Royalty in the future.
Yeah. Wanna say me and Jalil for make some music together? All right, we're gonna make it.
Now you make a one too. I mean, I look for, you know, Kalia too. That's just me, you know. I just like for, you know, spread the wings and, you know, share the love, you know what I mean? Because we're all talented people, you know, and different expressions. You know, it's like a plate. You have the salad, you have the rice, you have the corn, but everything, you know, is a balanced meal, you know what I mean? So, in terms of like artists, they mentioned everybody that I was thinking about doing that. I was thinking about Rick Jam, I was going to say as a lineage, you know what I mean? But just keep an eye on Jamaica on a whole. Just keep an eye, because there's a lot of artists that's going to come on the reggae scene. And as soon as they come, I'm going to share them too, because, you know what I mean, as I say, it has to be an army. It can't be a one-man thing. It was Bob, but it wasn't Bob alone. It was Bob and the Wailers. You know what I mean? So if you realize it's always a movement, a unity, you know, so you can look out for that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, before the marching band is completely taken over, I want to give you the chance to put your questions to our special guests.
Got a question over here on the right. Oh.
Can you hear me? All right, Ari. So the question is, to all four of you, by the way, I'm Amelia. Do you have any pre-show rituals?
We all, I think, have pre-show rituals. For me, I definitely pray, right? I'm kind of try to get myself in a state where, because for me, making music is being able to be used, right? So it's like I'm kind of try to clean my vessel. And my mom passed in 2017, but I talked to her, you know, and I always tell her to look out for me, and I make sure say I'm on point and I don't sing any flat notes, you know. But yeah, I think my whole prepping is spiritual, because everything else is secondary. Once you're right with the Almighty, there is no battle you can't fight. You understand?
Yeah, similar. I wouldn't prayer, meditation, especially when I'm just about to go onto the stage. I try to I make myself present, because a lot of the times we can, there's so much going on, or we have to put on the clothes after the sound check, after the this. And so just before I step on stage, I just make sure that I'm present, and I just remember, like, okay, you're here, you're about to do this, this is happening, and give thanks every single time.
So now for me, I'm a visual person, so I think that the crowd will accept this thing, this message, and I say it because words are vibrational, it's frequency. So I say, yo, you're gonna accept this thing, you're gonna take it home, you're gonna change some lives. So that is what I do, all the time, every time.
Yeah, my pre-show rituals have actually become my lifestyle. I think I learned a few lessons in the early stages of my career where I recognized that it's better to stay ready. And so every spiritual practice that has been mentioned here, I've incorporated it into my daily life so that no matter what happens in the physical realm, spiritually, I'm always ready. So in other words, I journal a lot. So you're a visualizer. I love to script, and I'll write down what I want to feel. I write as if the show already happened. So I'll write down in my journal, oh my God, what a beautiful whatever it is. And I use that in my daily life so that no matter what comes my way, because things can happen, right? Like the other day you were about to perform, and I think your family was on the phone, and Jesse's like, I have to go on the stage. But once he touched the stage, you would never know that he was on an emergency call right before. So we live in a physical world, but because we're spiritual beings, I think all of us here have just decided that if our spirit is right, the music is right. So, yeah.
Good evening. I have a question for you, Jalil, because I saw you in Reggae Jam, and I loved your vibes, and you're talking about being visionary and things. And I was wondering, the way you interacted with the Massive, can you promise me you keep on being yourself and doing that? Please?
Yeah.
And a picture later.
Yeah,
Please.
and a picture later, all right. No, for sure, as I said before, I was, always holding myself in. But my grandma told me something, before she passed. She said, it doesn't matter where you go. I said this to Jesse yesterday. It doesn't matter where you go, you're going to take yourself with you. So if I go to Italy, I have to take myself with me. Even if I leave my phone, I have to take myself with me. So what I can promise you, everybody here, I'm going to be 100% my authentic self all the time. So if I want to cry on stage, I'm going to cry because that's how I feel, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely going to do that, yeah?
Hello. Oh, nice and loud. Okay, so First Lady Jenny P from Birmingham, UK. I'm a radio presenter. I've been doing it for over 30 years. So I've been playing your guys' music. I've been there from foundation. So I see the change in the music, in the reggae, in the dance hall. I don't promote the slackness. It's just something I don't support and I don't promote. So it's very great and inspirational to hear you all talk about the positivity within the music and the messages that you have in all of your tracks. Kalia, you've just started out, I've been playing your songs, so you have to know that. I haven't seen you live yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I'll come to you in a minute, Jess. And Naomi, your song with the ladies in Jamaica, One Extra. Wow, absolutely fabulous. Love that. Jalil, I have to say, conscious lyrics, keep them coming. That's what we need. The world needs more unity, more love. Jess, I saw you last in Bristol this year, remember? Yeah, do you remember doing the video for me? Yeah, First Lady Jenny P. Yeah. So my question to you is, are you going to be bringing that same energy on stage today? Because that was electrifying. Absolutely loved it.
Check. Thank you. Now, nice to see you again. You know, your face, they look familiar, but you understand? So for me, anybody who knows me, whether it's 20 people, whether it's 10,000 people, whether it's 200, whether it's the same energy.
Right.
Every single stage. You have to understand, somebody like me never grew up rich, right? So I know the value of a dollar. I know the value of people's time, people's energy. I don't know how much money you spend to come to this show. I don't know what's happening in your life. I don't know if you took your last dollar to come see Jesse Royal and Protege and Leela that night. I don't know if you didn't pay your rent yet, but you bought the ticket before you paid your rent. I know a lot of people in reggae music who, they rather pay the money to go to a reggae show so that they can get inspired to go make the money to pay rent.
Yes.
Right? So every single time me touch upon a stage, I approach it with that level of respect.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be here. You chose to be here with us, and I'm going to give you all of me out of the respect for you coming to see me.
Love that.
So that is how me approach anybody who's ever seen me perform or will ever see me perform. Whether I'm hoarse, whether I'm tired, whether I'm up, whether I'm down, whether I'm just done talk to my kid, it don't matter. Once I am here in front of the people, I'm here, in a weird way, I'm at your service.
Yes.
Because this music thing is a gift from God, right?
100.
So we almost are like like we are a conduit. So it's like we are pass on God vibes to people. You know, we are rich, and it is important for us to energize you and invigorate you. Because you may not make music, right? But you may be the person who is the sister of a police officer.
Yeah.
And if you can instill love in that police officer, when he goes and he does his job, he's going to be a loving police officer. He's going to be a little bit more kind. You know, he's not going to be the typical idea of a police officer if you work as a security guard, if you work in a supermarket. You know what I mean? So, like I say, we have a job, but our job is not the most important job in the world. What is important is inspiring each other, you know, making each other feel the love and feel loved. And feel ready to take on the world, because the world is a tough bumbleclad.
100%, man. Trust me on that one.
And the more we can inspire and invigorate each other,
man.
make we do that. So that is my approach every single time.
Love that energy.
I go
love
up on a stage, you know. Love.
Man.
And it's
Looking
nice to see you again.
Oh, you
and
mean,
you're
man.
looking lovely. The
Thank you very much.
Almighty is good to you.
Give thanks,
nice.
my brother, every time.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Time is flying, so I'm afraid we have to wrap it up before the main stage starts. But I want to remind the audience not to miss the artists on the panel on stage. Jalil is on at 10:45 on the line stage, followed by Kalia at 11:40, also on the line stage, and Jesse Royal at 2:15, closing the line stage. And Naomi Cohen will be on tomorrow at 10:30, also on the line stage. And we will be back here tomorrow at 5:30 for an Afrobeat
Thank you for
takeover.
being with us.
Make sure
Thank
you
you.
be here.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out and sharing the time with us. God bless. Rastafari.